So I will start by saying thank you to Static in the Attic for mentioning my channel, the work that I've been putting out specifically on calcification, solidification of artifacts from the past, turning it into limestone. It shows a few artifacts in the last two videos he's made. This is one of them, a screenshot. So I'm going to cover some videos, two videos, well, three actually. I've deleted part one of the South American heads from my channel due to it being just terrible sound quality. Some of you will have seen that video. It doesn't matter because I covered most of the most important bits in part two. I have got some sections from those two videos. The second one is, do you see what I see? I just want to say off the bat that the reason why I'm doing this is because every video that I've made since with any kind of title to do with giants or mud fossils, I have only kept, not deleted. I deleted 30 videos about 2 years ago, covering anything that was somebody else's finds on the net, mainly Rogers, and I've only kept the finds which are mine, right? And anything that is only petrified bones. I don't believe in the mud fossil thing anymore, and that's why I deleted the videos. I've just been zooming in on a mineralized bone, an image that I found yesterday. Now this one here, we can ignore the one in the top left, it's from when I was into this stuff. The one in the bottom left is a museum piece which will be a replica. The one in the top right I do believe is real, and that's another case, an argument for mineralization, which I'm talking about here. The bottom right is real actually, and we can see that the bone has mineralized. If that's flesh that's around it, then it's something which would occur very, very rarely. We can't just say that all rocks on Earth were once living, okay? What were these things walking on? I don't want to go there. This image here, I think they are all real, but it's generally what I'm speaking about, that everything was in fact bigger. Now, I have made two videos on Stonehenge if you want to check those out, and despite what anybody says, including Roger, the only artifact that I have expanded on is the heel stone in those videos, right? The Egyptian Sphinx that I'm going to get into soon is something that I spotted first, including these South American heads, right? Which, with this artifact, you would think that he would give me some kind of accolades for, because he's saying that this is real, right? But if it is, then the stuff that I'm pointing out here has to also be real. I must say, I've been so close many, many times to deleting the Sphinx video and the South American heads, right? I've left them up because there's just some interesting anomalies, right, that I'm pointing out, whether they were created by man and they're since calcified in the same way, you know, like at Mother Shipton's cave. This is Sculpture Island, and what's interesting about this picture is it's going into what I've been trying to find, and I've said that the reason why these heads survived is because they had helmets on, high-tech helmets, and they were full face. Yeah, full face helmets, and they broke off because when they turned to stone, you know, ash, they broke off because they were hinged with bolts and various things. This one here, this is obviously a sculpture. By no idea, it's quite large, but look, it's depicting shades here, right? So imagine, right, or work out what it takes to make shades or glasses even that you can actually see through. What technology does it take, yeah, to mill down glass in a way that you can actually operate? And that'll give you an idea of at least the kind of technology that they were using. Again, I've not seen this one, this is different to the one I showed you, but these look like shades no different to what we're using today, you know, not from 1800s. And even if they were, you know, we were pretty advanced then. The other question was, yeah, they all seem to be of African descent. I know this is blurred. It's blurred where I'm sat, it's the best I can find, but this guy looks to be Eastern European to me. And look at the facial expression he's making, because we're going to prove that they're not all of the same facial expressions and same races. Yeah, and obviously if you've just died, your facial expressions go something like this, don't they? But again, the visor part breaks off. Look at this guy. I mean, this guy looks like he's been melted. It literally looks like he's been melted, this guy. I can't tell if his front teeth have come through his top lip here, or if it's just worn down. But look at his expression. You can see a couple of his teeth have broken. His eyelids have been burnt off. That's quite moulded, but that's how this one was found. You can see his tongue, okay? Different facial expression. This guy's not of African descent. That's what he looks like. This one's interesting. Looks like somebody from Japan, that area. But around here, you can see like some type of metal contraption. Here it looks like some type of radio or speaking device. Yeah, I know that's speculation, but that's what it looks like. But it definitely has some sort of visor. And it's blue, like I was saying in that video, because this was some type of metal. And in this one, it's been broke off. That's where that thing connected, and it's broken away because it was stone. That's longer than this side, and it connected. There was something else here, and the visor will have connected up. This one, this is how most of them were found, right? Because the rest of the body will be underground, whether or not it's intact like the heads were. But something's broken off here. Facial expression, and what type of race is this? You can see that his cheeks have actually blown out. Looks like he's gasping for air to me. I pointed this out like when I've gone on about the visors and why these heads survived intact, and the bolt has rammed into its skin and bulged his skin out. You can see that. It's ripped the metal there, and that's why this guy survived intact. And look at his expression. This one's got his mouth completely closed. Yeah, it looks like a piece of the metal has bent back there before it turned to stone. It looks like they had some type of thick leather inside to make these helmets comfortable, and that's turned to stone as well. I'm just throwing this in because I find it interesting. But this thing here seems to be made of bones. This looks like the rib cage, well, maybe the back of your rib cage. And here it looks like a piece of the hip. That looks like a hip bone to me. Something's been knocked off there, so maybe all of this structure is made from the bones of this guy, right? And then looks like they've done some repair work, because they might have put this over the skull. This might be a skull, and they've made it look like what it used to look like. That's interesting, is that? This one is like, again, found in South America, but what are they depicting here? It's like what I was trying to get at. What level of technology does it take to make shades or glasses? Yeah, it's not primitive work, I can tell you. But what are they depicting here? I mean, what is this? Is this some sort of night vision or something? You know, what's missing from here? And these skulls, where they've repaired, to do this kind of work where a person can actually survive. Yes, these are the cone heads. I've not got into this. These aren't human beings. But this guy lived for a long time, because the level of healing, this guy's had some sort of serious operation. There's loads of them. Many of them are found. These cone head types. Something was wrong with them. But the level of medical skills that was around then, to have these people surviving, you know, that just can't be looked over.
And yeah, the Sphinx head does look like it's been wrapped in, you know, bandages, right? You know, like during the mummification process, which is probably where the Egyptians got the idea from. They will have recognised what the Sphinx was, whereas, you know, it's been hidden from us. Oh yeah, and the eye, like I'm going to show you, this, you know, it does dry up and gather into the corner, which is, I'm going to get into it here in a minute. But this mouth, right, these are, well, do look like teeth to me, right? And not only that, when you check this image, I want you to look right there, because you can still see the material. The material, you know, like materials in squares, yeah, like we make it today. Just have a look at that area there. The imprint of the material of this is still there. But if this, you know, this isn't a structure like built, because, you know, that's where the nose went to, right? So the nose went down here, and as this thing got knocked off, it revealed the nostrils inside this thing. Think about that one. And it also pulled, they also pulled this top lip offline when this thing was mummified. That is what happens to an eyeball when it dries up. Yeah. Right, this is, like I said, it's going to be speculation. So this hole in its head and what this thing is down here, I've always found this very strange. Even when I was saying that this might be something to do with this, no, it's not. This is unnatural. This does not belong here, and it's completely offline as well. So this, again, wouldn't be part. If this was built, they wouldn't have built it with this going into its eye and offline. That's a fact. Right. What it looks like to me, like I said, this is speculation. Maybe this is a spear. Right, it looks like that this could have actually been rammed through its head, yeah? Came out through its nose, right? And that's the tip of the spear right there. They were able to move this spear from here. They weren't able to move that without destroying the face. They pulled that out, right, going in through the side of the head somehow, because it had a big gash in its head, didn't it? And then they stuck it on its forehead, because that's what killed it. When you look at it, this is not a snake actually. It's got a circle there and a little hole, and it will have done on that side. It looks like, it does in fact look like a spear. That's that circle there. This is not a snake. It looks like the head of a spear to me, right? That's been snapped off, that went through its head, right? And comes out there, is what killed this creature. And not only that, look at that area there. That looks like a collarbone to me. And it's exactly where a collarbone would be as well. Looks like all its brain started leaking out as well.
The video that was removed from my channel and I got the warning called "In My Opinion," I'm sorry for the names that were taken down from that video, the ones that are donated there. There's nothing I can do about that. The one that I removed and put on my other channel, and that was removed for the strike, well, I didn't put any names down on that because I knew it was for the other channel. So these are the names that have donated since my last video, and I cannot thank you enough. The link will be in a link pinned comment. The name is our lass's name, Vanessa Wilder, for those that are confused about that. Thank you.